for Tulane School of Professional Advancement. I am joined in the background by my colleague Ann Conlon, who's making the slides move and making the magic happen. So we're thrilled that you're with us today. We're going to go through a little bit about our graduate programs, who we are as a school, how we support students, a little bit of information about financing your education and applying to the program, and then we will wrap up. We know that this webinar is smack dab in the middle of your day. We try to keep it pretty concise. It's usually about 25 to 30 minutes at the most, and I will be sharing my contact information with you. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me after. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can drop them in the chat and we will try to answer them. If we don't have time to answer them, or if they're very specific to just you and aren't answers that the whole group can benefit from, then I'll reach out to you afterwards and follow up. So don't feel like your questions will get ignored. They just might get answered one-on-one after the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. A little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University is made up of 10 schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. So we've made this little graphic to kind of depict where we sit in the university. We have been around for over 130 years. We were actually the third school to get established at the university. We started off as the Medical College of Louisiana, which became our medical school. The second school was our law school. And then the third school was the very first iteration of what is now the School of Professional Advancement. So we have been around for a long time. We are located on the Uptown campus, on the main campus. The picture on the upper right that you're looking for is our building. It is the Richardson building. It is on the main quad right off of St. Charles Avenue. We take up the entire second floor. That's where our administration, much of our faculty, and several of our advisors are. We love students to swing by and come say hi to us if you're on campus. There's a picture of our student lounge. Where you belong is the big motto that we have on our wall. That logo was actually designed, that whole wall was designed by some of our digital design students. They did that as a class project, and we loved it so much that we commissioned them to actually paint it on the wall. But it sort of sums up how we feel about students. You belong at Tulane, you belong at SoPA. Come hang out in our offices in between classes, or just to say hi or meet with professors. We often get asked, do I get a Tulane degree? People are like, School of Professional Advancement, like, what is that? Is it real Tulane? We are one of the 10 schools that makes up the university. When you graduate from SoPA, as we call the School of Professional Advancement, you will get a diploma that looks just like the one that's on the screen now. It says Tulane University, School of Professional Advancement, your name, and your degree that you received. So as we like to say to students, Tulane programs, Tulane faculty, and a Tulane degree. So we also like to put this picture up because as we have this conversation, I want you to imagine your name on that degree. All right, so a little bit of what we will discuss in this webinar. We're going to talk a little bit about our programs and our faculty, and I do think that we have some distinguishing features that makes our faculty special from other programs that you might be looking at. We also do some things to create a learning experience that's unique for our students. We offer our students a lot of support. We not only want you to get admitted to Tulane SoPA, but we want you to get that diploma that I showed you on the previous screen. And then we'll talk a little bit about affordability and flexibility. So a little bit about our faculty at the School of Professional Advancement. All of our faculty members are what we call professors of practice, POPs. And what professors of practice are is they are actual professors who have years of experience working in the field that they actually teach. So our professors have all been or currently are practitioners in the field which they teach. So, for instance, Ashley Hand teaches in our public administration program, and she is the current director of strategic communications for the government of Kansas City. So that means that she works in public administration every single day. That is what her job is. She is a public administration professional. And in her spare time, she teaches for us. So that means that when you are in the classroom learning about public administration, you're not learning about theory of public administration or what somebody thinks is a great idea. You are learning from somebody who is doing the actual work. So when it comes to graduation, you have training to do what professionals in the field are looking for when they are hiring people. So upon graduation, when you go to look for a job, you will have the latest information of how to do what it is that you just studied. Another example is Derek Bose also teaches in our program. He is an administrative officer. He teaches in our emergency program and in our public administration program. He actually is the former chief administrative officer for the Southeastern Louisiana Flood Protection Authority. So when it comes to learning about homeland security, disaster management, he does this work. He can say real life examples of how you handle situations. If you're interested in our kinesiology program, Tyra Mitchell is our assistant director. She has her doctorate in physical therapy, and she's the former chief physical therapist for Ochsner, which is one of the big medical companies here, one of the big medical systems here in Louisiana. So Tyra Mitchell isn't just like telling you in theory how to be a physical therapist. She's done the work. She's run big, huge programs. My final example is Ralph Russo is the director of our cyber and IT programs. Ralph is a former New York City police officer, and he helped set up the cybersecurity unit for NYPD after 9/11. So when you're learning how to actually do this work, you're learning from the people who have actually done it. So our students feel incredibly well prepared to hit the workforce after they learn from our professors. Next slide, please. So here's just a quick, I know everybody can read, but I always like to read this quote. So Amanda Fennell is one of the faculty members in our information technology program. And she says, as a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals, that's you, through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my classes at night. And that's a better way to say it than I said it to you all. These folks take their professional experience and bring it to you in the classroom. All right. So we're talking about our graduate programs. We have two different pathways to graduate education at Tulane SoPA. One way is through getting an entire master's degree, and another way is through our graduate certificates, which are a little bit shorter and more specific in a very small area. So let's talk about how those work. All right, so the master's degrees that we offer are in cybersecurity, emergency management, homeland security studies, IT management, sports studies, liberal arts, public administration. We have a master's of art in teaching, which is for folks who want to become classroom teachers. And then we have a master's of education, an MED, in 4 different areas: equity-centered education leadership, learning experience and design, special education, and teaching English learners. The MED is designed for folks who are more interested in education administration, being a principal, being a dean, being an administrator. So that's the difference between the MAT and the MED. So those are our master's degrees. And then we offer certificates. I will read you the list of certificates in a second, but what is important for you to understand is that our certificates are stackable into our masters. So our certificates you can get anywhere between taking 4 and 6 classes, and you can stop there and have a very specific, deep knowledge base in a narrow area of focus. Or you can decide you want to continue on to the master's degree, and all that work that you did for their certificate will stack into the master's. So that means it will be added credit towards your master's degree, and all you will need is an additional 6 to 8 courses to get an entire master's. So oftentimes students will say, I'm not so sure. Like, I want some education, but I don't know if I want to take on the responsibility of a whole master's. No problem. You can start with the certificate, and we make it pretty easy if you want to continue on to the master's to go ahead and do that. So you don't have to make that decision right now. So the graduate degrees or graduate certificates rather that we offer are in front of you. We offer certificates in every single one of the programs that we offer masters in. And the certificates are listed in black. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but if you're interested in emergency or security, IT, kinesiology, pre-K 12, or public administration, there is a specific certificate area that you can start off in and get a specialization in. So if that's interesting to you, I would tell you to explore the option of starting with a certificate and then possibly opting into the full master's later, or not. Having a certificate in any of these areas will be very helpful to you as well. All right. So let's talk a little bit about our learning experience. So, all of our master's degrees are online degrees. That is on purpose. The vast majority of our graduate students are working adults, which means that they're juggling working in a full time job as well as going back to school. Many folks also have some sort of caretaking responsibilities, whether it's for an older family member or child care. And so we aim to create a very flexible learning experience for our students. And we found that our students find that online learning creates the most flexibility. But what we want you to understand is that our online learning is not an isolated experience. You're not going to be like sitting alone at your dining room table, just flipping through like slides or like reading, something and posting messages to a discussion board. There may be a little bit of that, but our online learning is designed to be incredibly interactive. You will have class sessions, not a lot, but you might meet once a month as a course in a format very similar to what we're doing right now, where you will listen to a professor, you'll be able to interact with a professor, you might be broken down into small groups to do small group work, but you will be able to create relationships with your faculty and other group members. We also have very interactive programming as part of our curriculum. So you will have small group projects so that you will be able to get to know other folks in your cohort. You'll be able to create relationships with each other and create those sort of professional networks. We also have different types of ways to interact with the curriculum that might mimic real world scenarios. So instead of, let's say you're in the public administration program and you need to solve some sort of problem that's happening in a US city, right? Like, let's say that there is a flood, or there is, look, there's, one is happening right now. A bridge collapsed in Maryland. So how do you solve that scenario? How do you reroute people? How do you send messaging and communication to communities? How do you create public safety? Those sorts of things. So instead of just reading something and writing a paper, oftentimes our faculty will create either small groups that will work out that scenario, come up with a solution, and you can present it to the group, or even have a simulated situation in the metaverse. Several of our faculty members actually have created scenarios. The top picture is our little metaverse scenario. May have created a situation where you enter a scenario, create an avatar for yourself, and work through a simulation to come up with a solution. And that solution would be your class project. That's one way that we make interacting with our curriculum very different. Another way is that several of our faculty members actually have their lectures recorded as podcasts. So as students, instead of sitting down and reading a chapter or reading, some journal articles, you can listen to the podcast. You can listen to 15 minutes on the way to work, another 15 minutes on the way back from work, maybe 20 minutes is where there is you're cooking dinner, and you can listen to the curriculum, and then you may have to write a short paper or response journal for that. So we try to reach students who have different learning styles also. Some students are more auditory learners, other ones are visual learners, others are creative, interactive learners. So I think that you will see that our curriculum is different than other online learning that you may have interacted with. Next, please. Okay, so student support and success. Another thing that I think distinguishes Tulane SoPA from other schools is that we are very concerned about making sure that our students feel supported through the program. We're not just interested in students getting admitted. We want to see you graduate. As a matter of fact, our graduation for Tulane is next Saturday. We just had a big all school meeting about it, and we were talking about the fact that it's everybody's favorite day of the year. We love seeing our students get their Tulane degree. So we're committed to your success in our program. So when you come in as a student to Tulane SoPA, you're going to get two different advisors. You're going to get an academic advisor, and they're the folks that can help you choose your classes, register for classes, tell you how many credits you should take each semester, can make sure that you have completed enough credits that you need towards graduation, that sort of thing. If you have to take like a medical withdrawal because who knows, you got the flu or something, whatever it might be, they can help you with those sorts of things. You'll also have an academic advisor. I'm sorry, a faculty advisor. And your faculty advisor is an actual faculty member, one of the people that we were sort of talking about earlier, who can help mentor you as you go through the program. All of our faculty are practitioners, so they can talk to you about how you can apply everything you're learning in the classroom to the real world space. So let's say you take a class, and I know this happened to me as I was getting my master's and my doctorate. There, every once in a while, there will be class that crops up, and you're like, I had no idea I was going to love that as much as I did. I'm super interested in this topic. And you can go to your faculty advisor and say, I love this class that I'm in. How can I apply this to the real world? Like, what are jobs where I will use this? Or what's a position out there where I really get to specialize in this certain area? And they can help you with all of that. Also, we have our own dedicated career advisor. So, this is a professional at SoPA who only works with our SoPA students. We don't share her with any other part of the Tulane community. And she helps our students with their resumes, with their LinkedIn pages. She will do webinars throughout the school year that can help students with tips and tricks for interviewing for jobs. She also gets job postings from national companies and will push them out to our students. So our students constantly get job postings about openings in the areas that we offer at SoPA. So if you have a job opportunity during your time at SoPA, reach out to her. She will help you prepare. You can create a meeting with her and do like a mock interview. She's an incredible resource, so don't pass that up. You get, access to her as part of being a SoPA student. Okay. One of the other ways that we work with our students is many of our students are have been working in a professional field for years. So if you have professional experience in an area that you're coming back to school to study, you could get what we call credit for prior learning. And that means that if there's a class that you have to take towards your master's degree, and you already know all the stuff that's in that class, if you're like, this is going to be redundant for me, I could teach this class, I've done this for so many years, you can go to your academic advisor and say, I'd like to get credit for prior learning for this course. They will connect you to the faculty member who is in charge of our credit for prior learning program, and she will work with you to create some sort of product where you can demonstrate. It might be a paper, it might be whatever you and she come up with, to demonstrate that you already have the knowledge that correlates to the learning objectives on the syllabus for that course. And if you can do that, you don't have to take that course. So you can do that for up to 2 courses at the graduate level. And if you can do that, then that'll not only speed up your time towards graduation, but it's a savings because you don't have to pay for those classes. So that's a way that we try to work with students who might come in with some world knowledge that they can apply and get credit for towards their degree. So just keep that in mind. All right. Look, we know that going back to school is an investment. So everybody's concerned about affordability, and I totally understand it. All of the courses at the graduate level are 3 credit hours. The cost per course for either the master's degree or a graduate certificate is $3,738 per course. We cap our fees. We have very low fees. So one thing that I want you all, as you're looking at our program and other programs, always ask about fees. You may find at other schools that once you start adding all the fees on, it will almost double what you pay per course. That is not the case at Tulane SoPA. We keep our fees very low. For students who are interested in the Masters of Art in Teaching, the price is $1,926 per course. So that is a different that's a different rate. We do offer several 20% tuition discounts, and I'll go through the folks who are eligible for those discounts. If you are active duty or military or a veteran, if you are a member of Phi Theta Kappa, which is the honor society for 2-year colleges, if you're a current classroom teacher, if you're an Orleans Parish employee, or public employee, if you're an adult over the age of 60, if you're an alum of Tulane University, or if you're an alum of an HBCU or minority serving institution, if you are an active or retired public safety personnel, so policeman, EMT, firefighter, those sorts of things, we will offer you a 20% tuition discount. You have to fill out a form indicating that you fall into one of these categories, but there's not a huge application process for it. You just have to file the form with us. We do offer other forms of financial aid. We encourage every student to fill out the FAFSA, which is the federal form for financial aid. Go ahead and fill that out. The FAFSA is not like a super easy form to fill out, so don't wait until the last minute. Start that kind of right away as soon as it opens, so that you can kind of like you have to get like your tax returns and fill out lots of questions. It's just not a quick form, so don't delay on that. We do offer the 6 credits for prior learning for anyone who falls into that category. So that's a way to save money. If you're transferring credits from any previous institution, you will qualify for our $1,500 transfer scholarship. We also offer an early enrollment scholarship. Guys, take advantage of this. There's no reason not to. I'll talk about this in the next slide, but there are certain dates that if you register for classes by those early dates, you will automatically get a $500 discount off your first semester. It's $500 that I am giving to you just to register for classes early. So go ahead and do that. There's no reason. $500 is real money. We can all use $500. So go ahead and take advantage of those scholarships. And then for those of you who are interested in the Masters of Art in Teaching and you teach in Orleans Parish, you qualify or may qualify for the SEED scholarship. And that is a tuition, like a full tuition scholarship. So I don't get into the details on that, but know that you should look into that scholarship. All right, a little bit about our application process. Our application is an electronic application. It lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. go to our website. There's a big button at the top that says apply. Click that button. You all are interested in graduate education, so pick our there will be an undergraduate application and a graduate application. Pick graduate, and it will open you up to our application. Our application does require a $50 application fee. However, as a thank you for attending our webinar smack dab in the middle of your day, we actually waive that fee for you. We are taking attendance of who has attended this webinar, and we will waive that fee when you submit your application. If you have already applied and paid that $50, email me after this webinar and I will refund that $50. It is easy for me to do. Do not be shy. You will get my email address in 2 more slides. Just email me and I'll give that $50 back to you. We're also going to need a copy of a current government ID. For most people, that's just taking your phone and taking a picture of your driver's license. Just take a little picture, upload it, and that's pretty easy. And then we will need transcripts from every single school where you've received college credit, undergraduate and graduate. So you'll have to send those transcripts. For our graduate programs, there'll be 2 writing samples that you will need to 2 question prompts that you will need to submit with your application. Take your time on those writing prompts. They serve 2 purposes. Whatever your answer is important. So the way that you answer the question, that information is important to the faculty member who reads your application, but also the quality of your writing. So make sure that you've really taken your time, that you've proofread, that you've used all your grammar. If you cite anything, make sure your citations are correct. You want to make sure that you don't rush through those writing samples. We will need a copy of your resume. And then the good news is that we do not require the GRE or any other standardized test. We have been test optional for a very long time. We don't require them. They're not even optional. So if you have a GRE, you don't even need to send that to us at all. We don't consider it for admission. All right. Some important deadlines. So our summer deadline just passed. May 1 was our application deadline. We do offer an early enrollment scholarship for summer. That was April 25th. Our next deadline that we are accepting applications for is the fall semester. That deadline is August 1, but look, you can apply right now. We read applications on a rolling basis. So if you're interested in starting in the fall, go ahead and apply now. We will read your application, get you an admission decision, and if you register for classes by July 15th, you will get that $500 early enrollment scholarship. So go ahead and do that. There's no reason not to. The next term is our spring term, which starts in January. That is a January 1 application deadline with an early enrollment scholarship deadline of December 1. So that application is also open. So, there's no reason to wait. So those are our deadlines. So go ahead and get your application in. We are going to keep an eye out for it. We want to go ahead and get you admitted so that you can take advantage of that $500. So that is the content of this webinar. We breezed through it in about 30 minutes. My email address is at the bottom, sgold@tulane.edu. There's a phone number. Don't ever call the phone number. I'm never sitting at my phone, but I am always in front of my computer. So email me. I try to get back to you the same day, if not certainly by the next day, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I think Anne was answering questions in the chat, so I'm not sure that there's any of those to answer. So Anne, unless you...
All right. Well, there's a question. With the launch of AI, is screening considered for writing submissions during the application process?
Yes, that is part of what the faculty will be looking for is the quality of your writing. So yes, even with AI.
And there's also a question. Is there an opportunity to dual major in grad school?
No. It's there. We do not have any specific dual graduate majors. In order to do that, it's very unusual. And in order to do that, if you wanted to take a master's degree with another school at Tulane, it's very hard to be admitted to two schools at once. You would have to get the approval of the dean of each school. It's on a case by case basis, and it's very unusual.
And for Sophia, if you haven't sent, it's okay if you haven't sent your transcript yet. You can,
Yeah, that's fine to send your transcript. And then Willie, you're asking about the nursing program. If you will email me at sgold@tulane.edu, I will connect you with the admissions advisor for nursing, and they can reach out to you directly. The ABSN is a bachelor's program. It's not a graduate program. Okay. Well, thank you everybody so much. You are going to get a copy of like a recording of this webinar sent to you tomorrow with a thank you for attending today. So if there's something that you missed or you want to go back through it, or you joined us late, you can watch it from the beginning. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you everybody so much, and have a great rest of your day.